Good Sunday, April 10th. We saw some strong winds once again throughout the valley spots and along the coastline. Some of the peak wind gusts today anywhere from 35 to almost 40 miles per hour. Now you are seeing the zone here in the coastal range in this purple, close to about 45 to 50 mile per hour gusts for some areas. Now further south in the city of Grayson, that's between Modesto and Patterson there in the San Joaquin Valley, we did see a fire break out. The winds down there closer to about 25 miles per hour, so it didn't necessarily need to be the strongest area with winds to see fire outbreaks. We just had strong winds throughout Northern California in the last 2 days. We've seen numerous fires popping up, from warehouse fires, barn fires, grass fires, everything you can imagine across the area, even fires along the docks near water. So it's been a big day, not just today, but also yesterday for that red flag warning for fire danger in effect. We saw very dry conditions. Humidity was even down to single digits. Now let's take a look at our daily almanac. Today we saw a high in the mid-70s. If you remember Thursday and Friday, it was very hot. We saw temperatures in the 90s and we did break some records across valley spots. Now we are closer to average. Now everything changes once again. So in a matter of 4 days, we've gone from 90s to 70s. Now we're dropping into the low 60s by Monday and pretty much 60s throughout next week. So what's new? The cooler temperatures on the way, and they're already starting to pick up in the evening hours. We're seeing as much as a 1 to 8 degree temperature difference from this hour around 7 p.m. Sunday to Saturday to 7 p.m. Sunday. So just the same hour yesterday to today, as much as a 1 to 8 degree temperature drop. What's next? Winter weather. We're expecting to see a storm moving in, a much colder storm system than we've had in the past. For the last couple of weeks, we've been getting warmer systems bringing us some rain, even some snow, but this one coming in further from the north, and that's dropping in perfectly timed out to bring us those cold temperatures and remain cold for the next few days. As we take a look here, we are expecting to see beyond the app. Yeah, you can check out that we're getting some showers tomorrow in the valley, and that's nice, and we're getting clouds. That's all great, but what you don't know is that these winds will continue to pick up. We thought, hey, maybe with the red flag warning gone, the winds will slow down and Monday will be fine. But unfortunately, we're still going to see very strong winds. The red flag warning does expire, though, and that's mostly because of all the moisture content that will be coming our way. So the fire concerns are pretty much out at that point, but we're still going to be dealing with strong winds. Now, we will expect to see cold temperatures as well as that rain and snow in the forecast. So snow with winds combined. That's pretty much that recipe there for low visibility if you are traveling through the Sierra. Here's what's going on in the atmosphere. We've been dealing with some high pressure overhead that's been keeping us rather dry, at least for now. But now we're getting what's called a zonal flow. This is kind of coming in just as a zonal flow here into the Pacific Northwest does, but what we will see is that a trough is already starting to form. This will continue to dip further down as this low pressure system also moves along with it, dipping into Northern California, increasing the winds for us, but that'll also bring us that moisture that the Pacific Northwest is already getting. Now, the winter weather advisory, this is going to be in effect at 5 a.m. on Monday. So morning commuters, unfortunately, you're going to get a lot of that snow unless you left right now in the evening hours of Sunday. You're not going to be able to bypass any of that snow. You're starting to see it as early as even 3 a.m. This will continue and be an all-day event with those winter weather conditions until 8 p.m. Monday. Now, strong winds over the Sierra Crest will be stronger than the valley. This weekend, we saw stronger winds in the valley. Now we're seeing stronger winds in the Sierra Monday. They're going to move over the Sierra Crest into areas of Nevada with strong gusts as high as about 50 miles per hour. So very strong blowing snow out there, not fun. Visibility very limited. It's going to create difficult travel conditions, slick roads. Take it easy. You're going to need to see those chains as you get through, or if you need to get through. Otherwise, I'd say wait it out if you can. Go on Tuesday. Snow could get as low as about 4,000 feet. That means it's dropping there, but not necessarily sticking. When we talk about sticking snow, we're going to see it closer to about 4,500 to 5,000 feet. And that's where we can start seeing maybe 1 to 3 inches at that elevation. Otherwise, the higher elevations around 6,500 feet will get much higher snow totals, closer from anywhere 5 to 12 inches. And some of the passes, Donner, about 7,200 feet or so, right around there, and that is going to see some of the totals as much as 8 to 12 inches. Now, as we see those passes there, a lot of the passes getting as much as 8 to 12 inches, but we could see some of the areas like Yosemite and areas of Ebbets, Carson with much higher totals. I'm saying as much as 1 foot to 1.5 feet of snow. Just because the system is so cold, we're actually going to cling and hold on to that snow, and it's going to stick around for a little bit. So that's the good news. we're hoping that the temperatures don't rise quick enough and just make it become all slush and run off quickly. Now, the winds, again, like I mentioned, are going to slow down in the overnight hours for the valley spots, but really start picking up as we move throughout your day Monday. And this is the peak of the strongest winds here by around 3 p.m. on Monday. So it's kind of a gradual ramp up throughout the morning and then the strongest winds in the afternoon hours. And you can see how strong they are over the Sierra. We're seeing as much as 20 to 25, 27 mile per hour winds. The gusts could get as high as about 50 miles per hour in that purple shade there. So not fun dealing with blowing snow as well as even rainfall. Now, when it comes to rain, things are going to be a little bit iffy here. What we're going to see is most of the rain hovered around the foothill spots, and that's going to be difficult when it comes to wind and rain, as well as wind and snow. Things will slow down in terms of the wind conditions as we start moving into Tuesday. Let's take a look at Monday morning. You're looking at 4 a.m. The snow already starting to come in for areas off 80 and 50. And what we see is the start of some of that rain as well, even some stray scattered shower in Sacramento. Most of the rain still just offshore along the coastline there, and that's going to start moving in for our valley spots. Very light scattered shower rain. But what we have the potential to do here is after the storm passes, you notice that we start getting a little bit of clearing here from the cloud coverage. When that clearing happens in the afternoon hours, that's where we get instability. Instability is that cold air meeting up with the warming sun temperatures and clashing. It creates a lot of kind of wind movement and the potential for thunderstorms. If you take a look here at the Sierra, what you look at 8 a.m. is some solid snow starting to make its way down at the lower elevations in pink. This is that mix, that winter mix of rain and snow. And then we start to see more solid snow in the white. As you get to about 9:30 a.m., still a little bit of that lower elevation snow happening. And then it's going to start rising throughout the afternoon. Most of the system pushing out of the area as we get to 7 p.m. And then everything starts clearing out and we'll get some nice conditions for the rest of the work week, at least for half of the work week, as we get partly cloudy skies. And we do have another chance of showers in the forecast. We'll get to that in just a second. But let's take a look at how much snow we could see. 8 to 12 inches. Donner, Echo, Carson, Ebbett, Sonora, 12 to 18 inches. So that's quite a bit of snow. This is the area here, if you take a look at that purple shade, where we can get some of the biggest drops of snow and a lot of that dumping happening as the system passes through. Less than 12 to 18 inches. And we're seeing some of the peaks there in higher elevations. Again, as much as about 18 inches of snow. When it comes to rainfall, we aren't expecting a lot of it. If we do get some significant rain, it'll be closer to about 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch in the valley, but we are expecting much smaller numbers, maybe less than 1/10 of an inch for Sacramento areas and the Sacramento Valley, as well as portions of the San Joaquin Valley. Maybe get a little bit higher totals there, but the foothills could see as much as maybe 1/3 of an inch to 1/2 inch, and then some areas here in blue just short of that line for snowfall, closer from 2,000 to maybe 4,000 feet, could expect as much as 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. Now, as the system passes for your Monday, we do have some partly cloudy skies, and then this on Thursday, another chance to potentially see some rain and snow in the forecast, and that's all coming in from the north once again. So colder conditions. We'll expect temperatures to still be in the 60s for the week for the valley, and then the higher elevations could expect those temperatures to still remain in the 30s. So we do have a chance Thursday, potentially a chance overnight Friday into Saturday as well. So we have a few more chances after this next storm system to see some of that rain and some of that snow for the reservoirs. Now, as we take a look at our temperatures here for the lower foothills, we'll be in those upper 40s Sonora, but check out the overnight low. Very similar, within 10 degrees of each other, within only 3 degrees of each other here for Arnold, from the overnight low to the daytime high. So you can see just how cold it is, staying in that same temperature range throughout that 24-hour period. Same as Placerville, 41 to 45 degrees. Not much of a difference there for the daytime high. This is a much colder system, 58 degrees in Ione. Now, as we take a look at Truckee, South Lake Tahoe's forecast, we're going to be into those mid-30s for the daytime high. Some of the temperatures, though, could be right around 32 degrees, especially at the higher elevations, and overnight lows closer to 15 degrees. Now, the system is going to be rather cold for the week. Temperatures don't really get above 40 degrees much, especially in the overnight hours. We're going to be below freezing point. We do have that another chance for snow Thursday and potentially into Friday. If you are headed to the Bay Area, mid to upper 50s and some mid to low 60s from Fairfield to Antioch. And for the Sacramento and San Joaquin valleys, we're going to see the 10-day forecast here with temperatures in the mid 60s for pretty much the entire week. Again, chance of rain Thursday and potentially Friday night into Saturday. Then we'll expect to see temperatures in the 70s the following week.